According to recent research, correlations have been revealed that link the positions of the planets in our solar system to certain phenomenon on Earth, including temperature variations and even earthquakes. And if the positions of planets could do this, it kind of makes you wonder what else perhaps they could be responsible. All this comes down to dark matter, specifically the kind coming from outer space, theoretically, and likely being attracted by the sun, pending dark matter's a real thing. Well, it's real, but we're not going to go into that debate. Obviously, as you probably already know, dark matter is one of the great mysteries of modern science. It makes up about 85% of the universe's mass, yet it doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it practically invisible, hence the name dark matter. But while we can't see dark matter, we can see its effects, and some scientists believe that it might be responsible for a host of unexplained phenomenon right here on Earth. Let's begin with a concept that might not be very familiar to everyone, and I know it wasn't familiar to me when I first came across it. Total electron count. And this is the total electron count in Earth, or on Earth. Total electron count measures the number of electrons in a column of the Earth's atmosphere stretching from the ground to the edge of space. These electrons are vital for technologies like GPS and radio communications, like we have to know what's going on with them, which rely on the ionosphere to transmit signals over long distances. Under normal circumstances, the total electron count fluctuates in predictable ways, influenced primarily by solar activity and the daily cycle of the Earth's rotation. But sometimes, just sometimes, we observe a sudden, unexpected spike in the total electron count. Anomalies that just don't match up with the usual patterns of solar radiation or geomagnetic storms. These anomalies are kind of like ripples in a pond. Something unseen is disturbing the atmosphere. But what? Alongside these total electron count spikes, scientists have also recorded strange temperature variations high in the stratosphere, far above where weather patterns should have any effect on anything. These temperature anomalies don't seem to correspond to any known natural processes. It's as if something is injecting energy into the atmosphere, but from where and how? This is where the mystery deepens. Some researchers, and I'm going to show you the paper here, have turned to dark matter to explain these phenomenon, specifically a type of dark matter known as Axion quark nuggets, which are like little bundles of quarks. Let's just imagine they're a candidate for dark matter for now. Imagine the universe is filled with tiny, invisible little bullets, these Axion quark nuggets. Most of the time, they pass through space without interacting with anything like a ghost passing through walls. But when these Axion quark nuggets encounter something dense like the Earth's atmosphere or its interior, they suddenly release bursts of energy. This energy could be the cause of those mysterious total electron count spikes and temperature anomalies. Axion quark nugget, once thought to be harmless dark matter particles, might be influencing our world in ways we never imagined. But the story doesn't end there. You might be wondering, what does the position of planets have to do with all of this? And the answer lies in gravity. When planets align, their gravitational fields can combine, much like lenses focusing light. But in this case, they might be focusing streams of dark matter or Axion quark nuggets, directing more of them towards Earth. Think of it like shining a flashlight through a magnifying glass. The light suddenly becomes more intense on the other side. Similarly, when planets align, their gravitational pull via a sort of gravitational lensing, which is basically what I just described, could concentrate these streams of invisible dark matter. Okay, gravitational lensing occurs when generally a massive celestial body, such as a galaxy cluster, like you'll see in this picture I'm going to show on the screen, it's a Hubble photo, causes such a bend in space-time that the path of light around it is visibly bent. And we actually use this sometimes to look behind galaxies. But just think of large masses and how they could focus streams of things around them. The focus stream could then interact with our atmosphere, causing the total electron count anomalies and temperature spikes we've observed. But it might do more than just that. Earthquakes are usually triggered by shifts in tectonic plates, but what if something else could nudge these shifts into action? As these Axion quark nuggets, or the dark matter, pass through Earth's interior, they might create shock waves or deposit energy in waves that could trigger earthquakes, especially in regions already under stress. Like, I know Japan's on alert for that now. It's like a small tap on a dominoes chain. The pieces are already in place, but that tiny tap just sets everything in motion. If planetary alignments can influence the flow of Axion quark nuggets, they might also be indirectly responsible for triggering earthquakes. As researchers have noticed a strange correlation between spikes in the total electron count, seismic activity, and specific planetary alignments. And this doesn't mean it has to be like all the planets are aligned. It could just be maybe like two or some big ones. This suggests that the very same dark matter streams causing disturbances in the atmosphere could also be the hidden hand behind some of Earth's seismic events. So what do you think? Could the positions of planets really influence what happens on Earth? This idea might sound like it belongs in the realm of astrology, but science is beginning to reveal connections that we never thought possible. Now, I do want to make a few remarks on this. I'm not a really big fan of astrology. And like astrology is kind of like reading your horoscope based on X, Y, or Z. Some of the more, I guess you could say, advanced forms of astrology I've had done on me look at the positions of planets when I was born, and then they attempt to deduce X, Y, or Z. Usually I kind of brush it off as confirmation bias. But the weird thing about it is that astrology seems like it's been around for a really long time, like ancient, like it's like an ancient art. And I know our ancestors were always looking at the planets. That could be because it could indicate weather patterns. It could indicate other things. If these little nuggets could influence the Earth with like tiny little explosions, then maybe just maybe they could also influence life on Earth as well. But this is just a theory, and yeah. So this is kind of like a new format I'm trying out for this channel. Let me know what you think of it. Doing things this way is going to allow me to make a lot more videos if this works even just a bit, which I think might make some of my subscribers happy. Yeah.